look into your eyes, it's like watching the night sky or a beautiful sunrise. There's so much they hold, and just like the old stars, I see that you've come so far to be right where you are. How bold is your soul? I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up, and when you're needing your space to do some navigating, I'll be here patiently waiting to see what you find. 'Cause even the stars, they burn. Some even come to the earth, and we've got a lot to learn, and God knows we're worth it. No, I won't give up. I don't want to be someone who walks away so easily. I'm here to stay and make the difference that I can make. Our differences, they do a lot to teach us how to use the tools and gifts we got. Yeah, we got a lot at stake. And in the end, you are my friend. And yes, we did intend for us to work. We didn't break, we didn't burn. We had to learn how to bend without our world caving in. I had to learn what I got and what I'm not and who I am. And I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up, still looking up. I won't give up on us. God knows I'm tough enough, and we've got a lot to learn, and God knows we're worth it. I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up.
Good day to you, and welcome back to our guided meditation. In this meditation, we will focus on the flowering energy of the summer flowers, and we'll reconnect with how we liken that to the flowering which is taking place in our lives. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy the meditation. Ensure that your environment is quiet, and take a few grounding, deep breaths in and a few grounding deep breaths out. Feel the chair, the bed, or the couch beneath you. And allow that to ground you further as your body relaxes and sinks into it, letting it support you more. Now focus on your heart center, which is already beaming with energy. Imagine how it may appear, its colour, what shape it is. Perhaps you imagine it as a pink disc rotating with energy. Think of recent experiences you've had and how you've so quickly developed in your life as an individual and within your twin flame union. Reflect upon your life purpose and on the gifts that you have to offer. Feel just how easy and how in alignment you are when producing your gifts. Feel how the production and flow of your gifts gives back to you in an everlasting flow, much like the symbol of infinity. Connect with the meaning of your gifts. They are all divine pieces of gold, radiating. Feel with all your heart the utter bliss and value your gifts bring to those receiving them. Your soul has so much to share. Learn what it is and become engulfed by it. Become enraptured by it. Love it and give it. Now take a long, intentional, deep breath in as you ground in this inner healing. And take a long, intentional, deep breath out as you now integrate it. softly open your eyes and slowly reconnect to the space you're in. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.
Hi everyone, my name is Shaleia and I will be sharing the Oracle card reading for the Sunday service. The card deck that I'll be using is the Keepers of the Life Oracle deck. Beautiful deck. I feel like I've been gravitating toward this deck a lot recently. And so yeah, let's get into it. These cards have been pre-shuffled and the first card that I got today is Hope, Love and Acceptance. I love that it's got a lot of yellow in it. I feel like it really represents shining your light and really experiencing the hope that comes from the love of God. It's this radiating energy. You can see that she's glowing, and it's just about really remembering the divine and realizing that we are divine. The text underneath says, love is yours. Recognize your divine worth. Choose loving thoughts. So yeah, this is a lot about support, experiencing all of the love that God has for you and knowing that you're never without your hope. And especially with this work in teaching, I feel like we're so supported and we always have hope. You know, we always know that no matter what we come up against, no matter what we see, no matter what we experience, that everything can be healed. And it's just a matter of persisting and choosing love, and there's always hope. There's never a time that we don't have this bright, shining light and this love that is supporting us all the way through. And so that's really what I get from this first card. The second card, we have Gaia, Earth Connection. I feel like this is really about a grounding energy. I feel like a lot of the people that I've spoken to in the community recently, we've been healing a lot of like just deep stuff, and it's been this very grounding, reflective time for a lot of us. And so you may resonate with this card in your healing work. But to me, this is really about a reminder that it's safe to ground and it's important to ground. A lot of people tend to approach spirituality from the standpoint of like just wanting to get high and have these really high spiritual experiences. And although that's part of it, I'm reminded of Romance in Sedona with Jeff and Shaleia, where they talk about how it is so much better to have a grounded approach and to make improvement every day and to really have like this deeper experience of your healing, so that you can build into something very sustainable, very real, with real foundation to it. And so this card is a reminder that it's safe to take that time. It's safe to give yourself all the support that you need, and to realize that grounding is just as important as any other part of the healing journey. And when we ground, we're really prioritizing being with God and making the journey with God and being present. It also allows us to experience our healing on a deeper level, because that presence and that groundedness allows us to move forward with a lot more power and clarity and peace in our heart. So that's our second card, Gaia. Right? And the third card is Paul the Venetian. And it says, experiencing grace. Share your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. So this is about life purpose. This is about really bringing the healing full circle. Jeff and Shaleia teach that giving is the same thing as receiving. And so this card is a reminder that you have gifts to give, that you have light and love to share with the world. And it's important to prioritize that. And it's safe to really extend and experience that grace. Inspiration and love is a reminder that God is there supporting you, that God will always give you your next piece, that he'll always direct you perfectly. It's just a matter of tuning into God and being obedient and really following that call. And so great reminder and a great way to finish up this reading of just wrapping all these energies up. Like I said, it feels like a story of healing. And so this is really, an experience of, a completion type energy of sharing what you've received and what you've given yourself with God. So great. So like to recap, let's see here, I got a little bit out of order. So the first card, we had hope, really, claiming that hope, letting that awareness of hope refresh your soul. Remember that you are supported, that you are loved, that there is always a way through. Gaia, grounding. It's safe to take the time that you need and support yourself in any way that you need to remain grounded with God. And it really gives a lot to you to remain in that grounded space and to prioritize that. It's safe to have some time where you're a little bit more inner. If that's what you're going through right now, it's safe. It's where God is guiding you. It's perfect for you. And so it's important to honor that and really, allow your healing to take whatever form it needs and give yourself what you need here. And the last card, Paul the Venetian, experiencing grace, sharing your gift, shining your light. Remember that you are divine, that you are loved and you are loving, and it's safe to really honor that. And so thank you so much for joining us for this reading, and I hope you enjoy the rest of Sunday service.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Sunday service. My name is Granville Campbell, and it is my pleasure to introduce a sermon by Jose and Michaela today on the topic of romance in God. And so to start off, one of the things that stood out for me about the sermon and was just a great reminder was a quote that Jose shared around God not caring about your perfection, but more about your indifference. And so I feel like it was a perfect reminder that God is looking for our presence and God appreciates our presence. And that's the way we actually relate to God, by being present with God. And something that always stood out to me was just the concept of how growing up, God was always seen to be this far removed, all-powerful, probably quite fearsome entity. And what the result is, there was probably a lack of a relationship, or even potentially a lack of a desire to have a relationship with this all-powerful, judgmental presence. And so I feel like Jose and Michaela just really helped to start to break down the myth that we tend to grow up with, that God is far from us. And another thing that stands out for me is just the simplicity of what relating to God actually feels like and means to them in their lives, and how that allows them to engage with life in a more simplistic, more realistic manner. And I like that they shared quite a bit of their personal experience, and especially Jose sharing how life started to feel better and actually good because he was dedicating his time to really building his relationship with God and building his relationship with life. And so life started to respond to him, which in turn encouraged him to continue to do his inner work. And I feel like sometimes we do get into the place where things feel like that they move slower, and other times they move really quickly. But in those times when they move slower, it does require just a reaffirmation of that dedication to continue, and a dedication to understand that every piece of healing has a purpose. And so I like that they share that every single piece of healing just goes to reducing the distance between ourselves and God. So it's kind of funky to realize that every little piece really does count. And it's something that we learn, but it kind of becomes much more almost relevant and almost real as we go through our spiritual journey and we start to feel the difference and the impact of our healing. And so I think another thing that stood out for me was also just Michaela sharing that although she had always been a lover of God, finding Jeff and Shaleia's work and really getting entrenched in it allowed her to truly establish that relationship with God and to really work on it and build it up over time and to start to realize that God appreciated all the effort that she was making and that was how she was able to really understand how to romance God. And I feel like when we speak to the concept of romancing God, it's not necessarily something that we think is a concept or a reality for that matter. I kind of feel like it just changes a lot of perspective and brings us back into a space where we start to realize that romance can be simple and easy and fun, and that it's progressive as well, and that over time it really just becomes a way of being, a way of life. And so I feel like the sermon was a nice educational process and an educational concept in how to kind of demystify the concept of romance and the concept of romancing God. And it kind of feels to me like it just stabilizes that space a lot more because it becomes much more comfortable to follow the process so much more simplistically and to understand that there's an ease to the process. There's an ease to just realizing that as you put in the effort into romancing God, God returns the romance and God meets you and takes it even further. And it's something that they also share, and it's probably, I think they mentioned that it was a quote from one of the classes, that where you give an inch, God gives a mile or 10 miles. So it just makes one realize that it's so much more of a return of that investment, of that energy, of that time. It's just that there's just so much more from even just a little bit of effort on our part. And so I feel like the sermon was just a nice way of sharing how to really build that relationship with God and to really learn to relate to God in a very human way, in a way that we as human beings truly understand. We understand the concept of talking to each other and wanting to engage with each other and wanting to have conversations with each other and of wanting to be in each other's presence. And so the sermon just really does bring it back home, bring it back to reality, and just equates it so much more with a truly human experience that makes the sermon much more comfortable to receive and to understand and to integrate as a piece of learning. So I'd like to invite you to just allow Jose and Michaela to really just share their sermon with you, and also to just highlight the fact that there's a big component of work being done through the church that needs to reach the world. And so we would like to invite you to please tithe or donate to continue to spread the word of unionism to the world as we go through the journey and try to reach more people and try to walk each other home in a way that feels appropriate and comfortable and fitting for all of us. And so please sit back and enjoy the sermon and allow the message that you need to receive from today's sermon to register with you and resonate with you and to just minister to your soul. Thank you again for joining us, and I will see you at the end of Jose and Michaela's sermon.
Hi everyone, I'm Jose.
And I'm Michaela, and please join us for the opening ohms and our opening prayer.
I am the only child of God, forever part of Him. I am created by Him in perfection, and there I always remain. My mind is my sanctuary, where I keep His holy creation sacred. I will only allow in His voice. I will only accept His word.
Today I will hear the word of God. I surrender myself to His teachings through His divine channel. I will honor what He has spoken and accept it as His will. I will be obedient to His word, for this is my salvation.
In Christ's name, Amen.
Welcome back to another Church of Union Sunday sermon. Today we want to talk about a favorite topic of ours, which is about romancing God through living your life, which is kind of a core principle of all of the teachings of union. And it's the core principle of, achieving especially harmonious union with your twin flame, and also developing your life purpose and basically creating a life where it's centered around romancing and pursuing God through all that you do. So most of us find this work because we are interested in twin flames and being with our one true love. And I know that was the case for me. And a really big lesson that we've learned throughout the years is that it's not about your twin flame or, any person, but that it's about your love of God and loving God through the person, your twin flame, and being loved by God through your twin flame. And that's what we want to speak to today, is that it's really beautiful, and it's something that doesn't end, even after harmonious union, obviously, but that all of the work that you do for this journey, so showing up to, coaching sessions, showing up to your life purpose, doing the mirror exercise every single day, watching classes, investing in yourself, all of that is not even just for your twin flame, but it's for God and for romancing God. And that's kind of like the topic for today.
Yeah, we want to speak about how is the pursuit of God that gives meaning to everything, because there has to be a goal for everything you are doing.
Yeah.
If you don't have a goal, you
purpose.
don't have a purpose on something. If not, you won't feel like motivation, or you will feel like, why do all of this work, or all of this. And I realized, like, in my journey I started in the same way as you, just looking for twin flames and looking for how to solve separation, and that's I found Shaleia in that moment of my journey, and I started applying this work. And I remember the time when I started having fun on the journey, and it's when I started actually applying the teaching like fully committed in my life and really interacting with life, because that was a core piece for me. It's not about sitting and waiting and expecting something to happen. You actually need to relate to life, and this is a place that no one taught me how to do before. I was quite kind of like afraid of like growing or moving forward with some areas of my life, but when I started applying this teaching, I saw that life could be beautiful and that life was responding to me. And I guess that's the moment where I became kind of addicted to the inner work or to the process, because I realized like, wow, it's not even my twin flame. It's like life is relating to me and this is fun and feels very good. And the more we move forward in our journeys, we discover new ways of romancing life, of interacting with life. And we want to speak about that, and yeah, how that is the beautiful thing that you receive with this teaching and this journey. Is that relationship with life that like fills you up with meaning, with joy, with peace, with satisfaction of everything. It's not anything else, it's only that. And you can work on that every day, and you can always be pursuing that desire and connection from within.
Yeah, I think for me, I've always been a lover of God and spirituality, but I didn't really know what that meant. And really what unlocked everything for me was finding this teaching. And one of my favorite parts is I was a live student in Twin Flame Ascension School, and I really strongly remember the classes where Jeff and Shaleia really started to talk about God, and like they really started to talk about how fixating on your twin flame and being on this journey to get something from the twin flame, or just like being kind of like obsessing over them in a way, or just focused on them, was the wrong way to do it. And the way that you want to be working or approaching this journey is thinking of God in that way and like directing your thoughts constantly towards God. And they really like awakened me to the just like the not concept, but it's the reality of God as a person, and that God is not a human physical person, but like a person with a personality and humor, and he wants to be romanced by you. And I just remember like in those classes just really connecting with that feeling that God is romanced by you, in your pursuit of him, and that you don't have to like, that romancing God doesn't mean that you, I don't know, like light yourself on fire and just go crazy, for God, and then you burn yourself. But it just means like going all in with whatever it is that you're called to do to love God. And an example that Jeff used in this particular class that I was watching is if you're, for example, like if your life purpose, your highest calling, and the way that you're called to really love God the most is through becoming a brain surgeon. Like you don't just go and practice on your neighbor, like that's not really loving God. That would be bad. So the thing that you do to love God is you go to school and you get yourself educated, and you basically learn how to become a brain surgeon. And every day, that you wake up and you go to school and you pursue your career is you loving God. And that's what I remember in those classes. And then that period, it was before Harmonious Union. And I remember at some point just being like, yeah, I'm not perfect, at all. But I am perfect at the core, and I am doing my best, and I'm not like definitely not like an ascended master right now, but I know like there's a point in my journey where I know like I felt it in my heart that God was really romanced by what I was doing, because it didn't look very glamorous, but like I was all in. And that's really what is romantic to God in whatever area, and for a long time I was focused on the twin flame aspect of things. And something Shaleia said in this class is you reach that critical moment of union with God, that like you have mastered romance so much that he has to manifest as your twin flame. Like she called it critical union in the class, which was really like, I remember reaching that point of just like you're so like in love with God that like he has to manifest as your twin flame. And so yeah, like you can get to that point in anywhere in your life, in your life purpose too, beyond twin flame union. So yeah, that was kind of like the inspiration for this sermon.
Yeah, Yeah, and it's the most beautiful feeling when you know that God is romanced by you and you can feel it in your life, because you're going to feel God romancing you back in your life when you do something. I remember Jeff in one of the classes says that every little thing you do towards God, God is going to amplify a lot and give it back to you. He said if you walk an inch,
Give an inch.
yeah, give an inch and God will give you like a mile.
10 miles.
10 miles, okay, or something, yeah. And that is very beautiful. And yeah, in the area of life purpose, you do it for the same reason. How can I love God today? Where is God calling me to love? Yeah, like you said, sometimes it doesn't look very glamorous. Yeah, like the memory that came to mind for us when we started living together, we had terrible internet. And at that moment, we were uploading these Sunday services and editing them, and I was doing that at the time.
And YouTube videos.
And we didn't have internet at all to upload videos. And we were at 2 a.m. in a shopping center using the Wi-Fi, uploading the videos. And
at a mall.
yeah, it was not glamorous. We were in the ground just with a laptop, but inside we were feeling so good. Like I'm giving my all here, and it feels very good to chase, to pursue God in this area. And yeah, that fills you with gratitude and yeah, like meaning. That was very meaningful and very satisfying for me.
Yeah, I think that it's just so beautiful, you know, and this is kind of the key to seeing like a lot of people in their twin flame or in their life purpose journey that get very frustrated because you're not seeing the results yet. But it's not at all about the result. It's about focusing on your relationship with God. And I think it's just so important to always be grounding into that and like kind of reminding yourself of that and reinforcing that truth that it's about God and loving God. And that's the thing that makes you so happy inside. You know, it's clearing out any blocks whatsoever in your life that would block that connection that you have with God. And you just develop, like, you fill yourself up inside with God, and then like God will have no choice but to manifest as the thing that you're manifesting, you know. But it's not that we're doing it to get the result, it's we're doing it to be with God, and like that's the natural order.
Yeah, and that is the thing that you are sharing with your twin flame, and this is all that the teaching is all about. I remember when I started my journey, I was very a little stubborn. I was like, I want this now. I can trade it. God, you can make it happen, and I do the work after. And because I will do the work either way. Give it to me now. Yeah, basically trying to make a deal. Doesn't work. Don't try it. Not recommend. But I remember thinking after all of this, because it wasn't working, of course. And I remember one day I was thinking, okay, what if that actually happened? What if I receive my twin flame now, in this moment? And the next thing that came to mind is, wait, what do I have to share with her? Like, what meaning will that have if I receive it right now? And I was thinking, wow, there is so much things in my life that I want to have and share with my twin flame. And those were the things that literally God was pointing me to work on in my life. So I remember surrendering, and I was like, okay, it's not working. Trading things with God doesn't work. So I was like, I will do it the way that God is showing me, and this teaching is teaching me to do. And I released my resistance to heal everything on my way. And I remember just by doing that, by making that choice, my healing was feeling more joyful. It was like, I feel like I'm moving somewhere. I'm getting somewhere with this. It was feeling very good. And everything in my life started to change because of that. And the more I did that, I did the work, I was like, oh my God, now I have all of this peace that I can share with my twin flame. Now I have all of that, all of this love that I can share with my twin flame. At some point, I was thinking, oh my God, I can talk to God and all of this. This is the coolest thing ever. Thank God you showed me to do this. And I can share that now. And yeah, it's that feeling of like being so full of things, so full of love, that really makes the relationship with your twin flame important and meaningful. because you have a lot of love to bring to the table, a lot of meaning. All of the challenges you move through, it's like, wow, I did all of this and look where I am right now. And yeah, all of that journey is the pursuit of God, and that's why it feels very, very good. And it can be challenging sometimes. You're going to face difficulties and challenges, but the beautiful part is the strength at the other side. When you conquer it and you see, wow, I'm actually powerful here, or I'm actually worth it after moving through this, or I can surrender control and I'm loved, it's safe to do this. That is beautiful to experience, not only to hear about it or knowing the theoretical part, the theory of this, but it's when you actually start to relate to life that you get the full experience. You get the experience when you actually do it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's beautiful. And that's something that Jeff and Shaleia say in the classes all the time, is that it's not enough just to, watch the classes and, go to coaching sessions and all of these things. Like, that's only part of it. And then the other part is going out there and applying the lessons and living life. And you come to a point where you know that this is true. You know that love is real. You'll understand that, like, God is real because you erase the doubt by going all in, and like finding out what the truth is by experiencing life and applying the work in your life and like your real actual life, and kind of I think that was something that was, before we came into Harmonious Union, that we both did, is like we really, really went all the way to the core of like our core block, and found out, okay, love is real here, and then once you have that level of confidence in the work, like we just, you just build your life on it, because like you understand that it's stable.
It's like the only stable thing in your life.
It's like part of your romance with God is the life that you build, and you keep on romancing God after Harmonious Union, before Harmonious Union, like it's
all the time.
It's all part of your romance.
Yeah, in the class that I'm actually watching, Jeff is like saying that your life is a masterpiece. It's your masterpiece. It's your I don't remember what he said exactly, but your expression of God, of your relationship with God, and that is a very beautiful thing, because you are romancing God, and at the same time you are discovering everything about yourself, and you are achieving everything you wanted in your life, and it's beautiful. No matter where you look at it, it's a beautiful equation with God. Because everyone like benefits, like you are signing, you are discovering the beautiful things that God has for you, and that's the purpose of it all. To be there.
And it's just so important to always remember, like maybe if wherever you are in your journey, whenever you find yourself just feeling upset or sad or focused on your twin flame, or feeling down, that like what you really desire in your twin flame or in your life purpose or in your success and all of the dreams you have is really God through those things. And you're not separate from God now, and you can just do whatever you can now to remove the blocks in your relationship with God now. And that builds your harmonious union and your life purpose and your, I don't know, what else?
Everything.
Like all the things that you desire. Like it's your relationship with God, and it doesn't have to look all polished and perfect on the outside. That was something I really had to let go of, is perfectionism, and knowing like as long as I'm all in and going, doing as much as I can, kind of push to the edge of your capacity. Like that's enough, even though it's not, I'm not perfect in perfect union yet, but that's not really what God cares about. Like he doesn't care about your imperfections or flaws or your where you're still growing. Like he really just cares about how much you love him and the sincerity of your heart.
Yeah, that is all that you need. I just saw this quote from Yogananda, and he said, God doesn't mind your mistakes, he minds your indifference. And yeah, that is totally true. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be all polished. You just need to be humble and sincere. And that is all that matters. You can start there. You can start relating to God in that space. And that's perfect. That is everything, because you actually have that honest relationship. Because if there is something like in the way you're feeling bad about the relationship with God, address it and feel into it. Don't avoid it or keep it there, because you are avoiding yourself the experience of having love into that relationship with God. And God loves you, is there all the time, but if you don't see it or you cannot feel it, that is not okay. You should choose to feel it in that space, to feel good into that space. And that is when you are relating to God. It's when you are clearing every block. I remember in one of the Tifa's classes, Jeff said that the way to God's heart is to eliminate everything on the way between you and Him, like clearing all the blocks in the way. And if you look at it that way, you are romancing God in every mirror exercise that you do. In every minute you spend doing inner work, clearing the blocks to love, you are romancing God, because you are actually making an effort on connecting with Him. And God sees that effort. He is not blind to it. And yeah, if you keep pursuing it and connecting, you will have that connection. It's a matter of testing it and relating constantly.
Yeah, I remember in one of the classes too, as Jeff said, like God knows every moment that you're loving Him, and every moment that you're loving God is like your most happiest moment. You know, it's like when you feel, yeah, like there is like that, you know, it's
Good
that feeling. Even, you know, you're in the middle of a big challenge or you're in the middle of a really big upset. There's something within you that's just like, yeah, I'm doing it. Like this is it. You know, I'm all in, and yes, it looks like things are exploding and it's really difficult and scary, but yeah, there is that feeling of like satisfaction and being all in with God. And and like that's a life purpose class principle. One of the very first ones is the screw it, just do it. Not about how it looks, it's about just doing it, you know, just showing up and being present, and not being a perfectionist about it.
Yeah, it's that feeling of like making the right decision. It feels very good, because you know that it's like, I don't know, when it's like when you are going to bed at night, you know you made the right choice. You know that you did your best, even if it doesn't look perfect or doesn't look like your expectations. Maybe did I do my best? If it's a yes, yeah, perfect, nice. You don't need to be hard on yourself. Like if you are loving fully, God is like happy with it. Just keep doing it one day at a time until you master it and you have perfection there. But in the meanwhile, enjoy the process. It's like, hey, I put a brick today in my house. Good, you have a brick now.
Yeah, and they all add up.
Yeah, like after some days you will have a wall, and then you have a house, and then you live in the house. It's a matter of persistence every day. And discovering that in that relationship with God is when you are happy, it's when you are relating to God in every area of your life. And there is no area in your life where you need to take a break from God. You don't need to take breaks or to look for other things. Everything is there. It's a matter of realizing how to connect in the proper way.
Yes.
There you have it.
That's beautiful. I think we're ready for our closing ohms and the prayer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are. So please join us for the closing prayer and the closing ohms. Father, I accept your word into my heart. I will honor your will in my life and will follow you without hesitation anywhere you ask. I know you guide me into your heart where I belong. I accept that you are everywhere and your teaching is in all things. God, I know you provide me clarity in this teaching of union, that I may be forever in union with you.
I accept that you are in me as you are in my brother. I will not deny my brother your word and will share your teaching with him in any way you ask and only as you ask. For when I share my salvation with him, I fully claim my salvation and return to you with him. In Christ's name, Amen. Speaking this prayer in your heart means that you have accepted you are on the path of awakening to your true divine nature. This is what it means to be a unionist. Follow the teachings of union with God wherever you find them and purify your consciousness into perfect union with your Creator. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you in the next Sunday sermon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you again, everybody, for being here and for joining us today for our Sunday service. And so I hope that you enjoyed the sermon by Jose and Michaela on romancing God, and that you found some pointers that you could probably quite easily just implement in how you relate to God and communicate with God and just be present with God. And I feel like for me, that is probably one of the things that was a great reminder, is just to be present with God and to know that God is always present with me. And so it was quite a comforting sermon in that it just again shows the simplicity of that relationship with God and how we can very easily and very comfortably just uncomplicate it. And so I'd also like to invite you to visit our unionism.org page, where you will find all our previous Sunday services, as well as our meditations, card readings, and music. On our unionism.org page, you will also be able to donate or tithe to assist with spreading the word of unionism to the world. We'd also like to invite you to like and subscribe to our Church of Union YouTube channel, where you will find all our previous Sunday services, as well as any other live discussions that have happened in our Unionism Spiritual discussion group on Facebook. And directly after our Sunday service, we'd like to invite you to our after church tea time, which is a discussion by a panel of unionists about today's Sunday service and just their takeaways and insights and their experiences. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us, and have a great rest of your day.